Hi, I'm Lindsay McCoy. I am the co-founder and CEO of Plaine Products, and today we are going to talk about 5 different reasons why you should compost and look at 3 different ways you can do it by yourself and learn about whether or not there could be composting available in your area. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about Plaine Products and what we do, but if you're familiar with us, you can skip on ahead and we will get into composting. If not, Plaine Products is here to provide an easy, convenient solution to plastic waste in the bathroom. We offer premium personal care products in refillable, reusable aluminum bottles that can be returned to us to be refilled and reused. Here's how it works. Come to the website, order a product, shows up at your house with a pump. Put the pump on, then when you're low, order a refill bottle or subscribe and we'll send it automatically with a return label. Switch the pump over to the refill. The empty bottle goes in the refill box and put the return label on the outside. Comes back to us for free. We wash, refill, and reuse them. No waste. It's just that easy. Plastic, while unfortunately only about 10% is recycled, even when it is, can only be recycled once or twice before it ends up in the waste stream or worse, in our environment. And the great thing about aluminum, it's endlessly recyclable. So these bottles never need to end up in the waste stream. Composting. Now, for a lot of us, myself included, there was a lot of mystery around this idea of composting. It seemed completely intimidating, just probably because I didn't know anything about it. But it turns out that it is not that complicated and it is easy for everyone to do. But before we get into that, let's talk about why you would want to take this on. And the first and most important reason is that, believe it or not, food waste is a huge contributor to climate change. So, unbeknownst to me, and I think many others, when food waste and other organic material goes into a landfill, it doesn't break down the same way it does in nature. In a landfill, because they're sealed up, there's no oxygen. So instead of biodegrading and breaking down into soil, like it does in a composter, it actually leaks methane gas, which, as we're learning now, is a highly potent greenhouse gas. It's actually worse than carbon dioxide. So the best thing we can do is keep organic waste out of landfills. And the easiest way to do that? Compost. The second reason you should give composting a try is that, again, keeping it out of the landfill makes more room for other trash. There are estimates that food waste and yard scraps take up about 25% of landfills. So those are 2 things that can go in the composter that will keep them out of the landfill and make room for other things that can't be composted. Another reason to try composting: if you're a gardener, it can save you a lot of money. When things break down, it creates this amazing nutrient-rich soil that your flowers and vegetables will absolutely love. So, a great reason to give it a try. 4th reason, composting has come a long way. There are lots of tools to help you. There are attractive countertop composters and countertop canisters that can hold on to your compost before you have to take it outside. There's lots of support to make it as low impact on your life as possible. And number 5, it is not going to create more problems for you. So there's a myth out there that if you are composting, it is going to attract rats and mice, but you just have to know what to put in your compost. So skip the dairy, skip the bread, skip the meat. Just do fruits, vegetables, yard waste in your compost, and that is it, and it will turn into amazing soil. So now let's talk about 3 different ways that you can compost now that you're convinced to take this on. The first way, the more traditional way, is to pick a spot in your yard. The best option is a sunny corner of your backyard, a space around 3 to 5 feet. You can put pallets around it, you can do railroad ties, you can do wood, or you can just pile it up. Compost should be an even mix of green and brown. Examples of brown dry waste include leaves, corn stalks, nutshells, sawdust, pine needles, straw, newspapers, and computer paper. And then green wet waste would be weeds, eggshells, hair, grass clippings, dental lace, fruit waste, vegetable waste, coffee grounds. So there is a lot of things that you can be composting. Once you've started to pile it up, cover it with dry leaves or hay if it's rainy, add water during dry spells, and flip it over with a pitchfork every 3 to 4 weeks. After several months of decomposing and with the assistance of some sun, air, water, worms, insects, bacteria, and fungi, your compost heap will be converted into rich black dirt and be ready to spread around your yard, plants, trees, or garden. Now, if you don't have a huge yard, or if that sounds a little overwhelming to you, there are tumbler composters, which is actually what we have, that you can put in your backyard. Now, these are made from black plastic, but you can get them BPA-free, UV-inhibited, recycled polypropylene, which is contact safe and will not degrade under direct sunlight. You can get them made from 100% post-consumer recycled plastic. Again, you want to put in a mix of green and brown, but instead of having to turn it over with a pitchfork, you just spin the barrel every few days. And it can turn your kitchen and yard waste into soil in as little as 2 weeks. That has not actually been ours. It's taken a little bit longer, but it is a much less work-intensive way to do composting. So if you have some space outside, you can give that a try. Now, if you are somewhere that there isn't a yard, there are new countertop composters. An example, our friends over at Pella are making one called Lumi. And according to them, these are the equivalent of commercial composters. So you can put, sounds like just about anything in them. They will also take meat, they'll take bones, they'll take dairy, and they break it down right there on your countertop. I should also mention that a lot of larger communities now are creating composting programs, and there are commercial composting programs available. So you can check out the EPA resources or Earth 911 website to see if there are some in your community. But there are companies that you can leave a green bucket out, and they will come by and pick it up and leave you an empty one, and you can contribute to composting in your community. That's actually 4 different ways that you can compost, and we gave you 5 great reasons why you should give it a try. There is a book called Project Breakdown, and they look at climate change solutions and how effective they are and how much they can actually contribute to stopping global climate change, and reducing food waste is very high on the list. Higher than you would think. So this is a great way, if you want to do something good for the planet, to take some time, do some research, figure out what works for you, and get composting. We'd love to hear about your experiences below, and if you enjoyed this and want to hear about other plastic-free swaps or ingredients that are good for you and the planet, please like and subscribe. Thanks so much.